Today we're going to emboss just the edge on a watercolour rose card. Welcome back, it's Therese from Lostinpaper and I've got the beautiful Enchanted Roses from Altenew. This is part of today's release and I thought it'd be fun to do some really simple watercolouring and just show off this beautiful stamp, which is enormous. I just wanted to partially stamp this, so I couldn't fit it in my MISTI and stamp it, so I came out with the big guns. I've got my Fisker's stamp press, and I did stand up and actually press on the stamp. Because I'm using the watercolour paper pad from Altenew, some of the cardstock from that, and it has some texture to it. It's not very textury, but I wanted to get a good impression first go because I didn't want to have to line it up and stamp again. And I used the obsidian ink for this because I knew that would be perfect with my Woodless watercolour pencils. These are so easy to colour with. If you're not a watercolourist or don't think that you're a watercolourist, these are seriously easy. What I'm doing here is laying down the colour. Probably the hardest thing for me is to not lay down too much colour because these are very vibrant and you don't need a lot of colour to get what you want. I think I probably added a little bit too much of the blue because I did want some of the turquoise to show, and there was not a lot of that in the end, honestly. But I used and when I say turquoise, I mean the dewdrops colour here, and the turquoise is the darker colour. I'm trying to confuse you. So what I did was lay down my colours before I started adding the water, and I laid down both colours at once. So on my petals, I laid down both of my blues. On my leaves and stems, I laid down both of my greens, the darker and the lighter. And then I've got my watercolour brush, and I'm using it's a well of water off to the side. I'm not using the water within the brush. I don't trust it or me to use that. I feel I've got much better control if I dip my brush in the water and then I can actually wipe it off on the paper towel just a little bit to make sure that I'm not adding too much water to my colour. I don't want my paper to be very wet with this, and one of the good things about that is I don't have to wait for it to dry so much between the petals because I haven't got that big wash of water. This makes it very easy to do. And when I want to add my next layers of colour, I can do that without having to wait for it to dry too much because that does my head in. I don't like to wait. I mean, you could hit it with a heat tool, but that will warp the cardstock, but we'll talk about that a little bit later on. And because I'm not using very much water here at all, and it is a watercolour cardstock, I don't have to worry about that warping too much. It didn't warp at all at this point. Okay, I wanted to add some more depth to these roses, and I've got black. This is the black Woodless watercolour pencil. I did try a darker blue, like the desert night blue. It wasn't dark enough. I wanted something darker. So I'm just kind of coming in and adding just a little bit of black by the tip-to-tip technique. So I've got a wet tip on my watercolour brush, touching the tip of my pencil, and then popping the colour down on where I think the shadows are going to be. If it's too dark, I can just wipe some off on my paper towel and also spread the colour out a little bit more. I can add a little bit of water if I want to, but I find this is the easiest way to get that depth I was looking for. Alright, here is how we're going to add the partial texture. I'm going to be using this beautiful Swirl Motif 3D embossing folder. Now I did need to cut my cardstock down to the front of the size, you know, the A2 sized card, so that it would fit through my machine, and it does sit out the end a little bit from the embossing folder, so I did flip that round. To run it through my Gemini, I only need to have the 2 plates and also the 3D embossing folder from Altenew. I don't need any other shims or layers, but my cardstock did shift and I notice it's on a bit of an angle, and also where I had it sitting out the edge, it also left a mark, so I wasn't very happy with that, and it warped. I think I need to retry it, maybe in my manual die cutting machine next time. But I wasn't going to start again, so I went with it and cut my card front down, used lots of adhesive on the panel before I adhered it down, and then I added a sentiment from the same set with the obsidian ink and also a simple greetings die sentiment. I have 2 more cards using this release at my blog, so I'd love you to go over there and check it out. And if you're here in January 2021, yes, we made it. You could be in it with a chance to win. So head there. The link is in the description below. I do hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you did, please click on the thumbs up button to let me know that you did. And if you haven't already, I'd love it if you'd subscribe to the channel. I'll be back again real soon with some more card making inspiration. Till then, happy paper crafting. Bye.